as I get further and further along filming these videos and just uploading videos in general and creating, I'm incrementally having to add layers of complexity. And obviously I should only go so far with that. I don't want things to become so complex that they become really hard to film and create. But I'm adding layer by layer, and it's really interesting to watch it happen. It just comes together if you just start doing something. You don't have to research, okay, I need the best mic, I need the best this, I need the best that. You will, through wanting to improve, slowly learn what you need to do and what added accessories you need and what accessories you don't actually need, what aren't completely necessary, and so on and so forth. Anyway, that's not what today's video is about, but I like talking about these little things just because it's I think it's probably interesting for anyone who's watching this and thinking, oh, I could make videos like this guy ain't that smart, I could record myself talking and make similar videos that would be even better. So what I do want to talk about today is we do this site, right? I work for my family company, which was created by my dad, and we do like landscaping and stuff and external cleaning, things like that. And we do this site, and it's not the nicest site in the world. And I'm actually going to talk about this site a little bit more in detail in a different video, because I have more to say on this site, but because it's a very interesting place. But today I just want to briefly talk about this interaction I had with this guy. So this guy was sitting on a bench with a can of Stella in his hand, and I saw him walk over, and my initial thought was, we've had some trouble at this site, bit of crime and stuff. We've had two vans. No, we had two vans had the window smashed. I think, yeah, it was two different vans. So they had the windows smashed because people wanted to break in to get stuff that was inside. Maybe our fault for leaving stuff on the seat, but you don't expect it, especially you're like 30 seconds away, you're just around the corner and it happens. But that's I can tell you the whole story of that in a different video. So I recently have really had like a back against the wall kind of mentality at this site. I'm when I'm walking around, I'm kind of, being aware of my surroundings, because it's a bit of a rough area, it's a bit of a deprived area. Anyway, this guy sitting on the bench with a can of Stella, and I'm working around him, and I just said hi, and he said hi, and then he made like a small talk comment, I can't remember what it was, and we got into conversation and began talking about, I guess, the area. But then we spoke about, he said he was going to see his wife today in a home, and I sort of inquired, I was like, oh, I can't remember what my response was to that, but I was like, how are you? Well, I hope it goes well, mate. And then he sort of like expanded a little bit, and he said I was caring for her, but then I got kind of ill myself and frail, and I could no longer care for her because, he just didn't have it in him because he was old. And I've been thinking a lot about mortality lately and getting old and what that is like, and I guess especially losing the people that you love. I talked about this with one of my friends quite a lot the other day. We were talking about our parents, and I guess now I think about mortality in the sense of my son as well, like my own mortality and what it'd be like for him, or even my partner when I go, or vice versa when my partner goes, I don't know. And this conversation today, it just brought it back into focus, and I was thinking about how hard that must be. I mean, this guy's probably been with his wife like for a very long time. He's seen her deteriorate, he's tried to care for her, but he no longer could do it. And I just think it's such a brutal set of circumstances, and it has motivated me to do everything within my power to take my care, if I deteriorate to such a point, out of the hands of the people I love. They might want to carry on caring for me, but if that is the case, I at least want to afford them the possibility to get some help in for the stuff they can't handle, because it's hard. I mean, look at having a kid, that's hard enough. Having an adult who can't care for themselves is like, brutal, especially when it's someone you love, and you also have the grief and the pain of them changing, let's say in the case of something like dementia or Alzheimer's, which I just don't even want to talk about. So do I really have any conclusions in this regard? Not necessarily. I watched a video whilst I was washing up about it was a lady who lost her husband, and she was talking about how she got over it. And I mean, of course, she didn't say I got over it this way. She hasn't ever gotten over it, but how she soothed herself in the presence of such immense torture and grief. And one of the things she said was really interesting, was that she couldn't actually keep going without letting it break her. And that's not how a lot of people deal with grief. A lot of people just bury it deep down and they stay strong, and they don't, they try and keep the pain off. They shield themselves from the pain or whatever. And I just thought it was a really interesting way to put it, because of course it's going to break you anyway. It should break you and it should change the world in which you live in many ways. When someone who dies who you've been with for a very long time, the world that you live in is a very different place. I think she said something like, when it first happened, one of her first thoughts was, this isn't my world anymore. And it's a beautiful way to put it, and that really resonated with me. I haven't lost anyone very close to me, but I have lost loved ones, and this isn't my world anymore makes a lot of sense, because I talk a lot with one of my friends who I've been friends with for a very long time about the pleasure that I get, or the comfort that I get from knowing that me and him have seen so many of the same things together. Like, he really has seen my life, and in a lot of ways, multiple aspects of my life would probably just fade into lost memories if he wasn't around still. We get to talk about them and resurface them, and just his mere existence means that I keep going back to those memories. And the same applies to a partner. That's why I think it's good to stay with a partner for very long, provided it's a helpful relationship. But then relationships are tough, and it gives you another reason to keep working on things, because seeing the world together, seeing your life together, and seeing each other's lives, or seeing each other as you grow as people, is just, it really validates your existence. I'm sure I could say that in a clearer way, but that's the only way I can put it for now. So yeah, I that statement resonated with me a lot. It's not my world anymore. And I think maybe in a way she said it had to break her, and then she almost had to, she didn't say this, but this is me kind of paraphrasing or giving my opinion on it. She almost had to, and you almost have to create a new world wherein that person is no longer physically present. I'm not going to delve into any spiritual theories right now, but they're not physically there anymore, and the world is a much different place, and a new place without them, because it must be, right? I know if my partner wasn't here anymore, so many things, the way that I do so many things, would be completely different. I mean, the context of my whole life is attached to her, and also the other people that I love, my other family members. And yeah, I think this is a topic that I want to talk about a lot more, because I'm very worried that I am extremely, and most of us are extremely, underprepared for the event of loss and grief. And I don't think that has to be the case. Now, of course, nothing can truly prepare you for it, because it is beyond as human beings, it's beyond our understanding, I think, almost. Like, how do you understand your own mortality? I'm not sure that you can. You can get a little bit closer with the help of certain psychedelic drugs, but I'm not going to recommend them to anywhere, because I don't think they're right for everybody. And yeah, I'm going to leave it there for now and just keep revisiting this topic. I know it's a little bit morose. Part of me learning how to speak better and articulate myself better is making these, like, going for a word and then realising as I say it, that ain't the word. A little bit morose. And what's the other word that I've combined with there? I don't know. I don't know. Couldn't tell you. I'm going to look it up after. Some of you are probably watching it thinking, yeah, I know what he's trying to say. Thank you for understanding my difficulty in articulation. It's a little bit sort of dark and that, but I think it's important to talk about and learn maybe you can't learn how to deal with it, but just you can't be ready for it either. So just to have a better understanding of this sheer destruction it will wreak upon you as a person, and maybe get a slightly better idea of how you might rebuild after that, and also give you the hope that things do carry on and things can carry on for you, and you can find meaning still in life, even if a massive chunk of your heart is no longer with you. That sounds hard, but I do think it's possible because I've seen people do it. Right, let's leave it there, and yeah, I'll see you tomorrow for another video. I'm really enjoying making these videos, and it's hard, man. It is testing my willpower, because today was probably, I'd say, the time that I have had the deepest desire to just be like, nah, not today, man. I can have a break today because I want to read and I want to finish All Quiet on the Western Front, so I can talk about that in a video tomorrow. Might be the day after that, if not. But yeah, nice. I got here. You got here too if you're watching. Have a nice week. Have a nice year. Have a nice life.